So I've set my slab roller on both sides to just in between 1/4 of an inch and 3/8 of an inch. I really like that thickness for working with. It comes with 2 pieces of canvas, and you take your blank of clay and you set it in between your 2 pieces of canvas. It's really important to have the thickness not be more than about 3 or 4 times thicker than what your eventual slab's going to be. Otherwise, it's really hard to push through the rollers. And it helps also to pat the edge, give it a nice taper so that it can get started through the wheel really easily. Now you put your other piece of canvas on top. You want to have a little bit of space here so you can get it started through the wheel. If you don't do that, you're going to probably end up pulling your clay down into the wheel mechanism, and you don't want to do that. So we've got that taper right up against those 2 wheels. And I use this large wheel to start rolling. You can go back and forth a little bit to get it really going, and you can see this lump of clay is expanding. Now I've made it all the way through. I'll pull it back. And I have this table right on the edge where I slide my slab. And now we've got a nice, flat, even slab ready to work with. Now, slab building is not just for small flat pieces. You can actually construct larger items like vases, boxes, all kinds of things out of slabs. Here I'm going to demonstrate how to do a square vase made out of slabs. The first thing you need to do is get a piece of cardboard to make a template for your walls. I've decided that I want a tall, thin, rectangular vase, and so I've made a tall, thin, rectangular form. And then you're going to lay that form directly on your prepared slab and cut around it with a needle tool. I've already done this. I've got these slabs cut and prepared. You also want to take this same form and make your base. And what you can do to do that is just cut one of the forms and then lay this against the corner to cut it again to get your square. So that's what this is here. You let these set up. These are actually leather hard. You don't want them to be flimsy, or when you try to construct them, they're going to fall down. So we're ready now to construct the base. So moving on, we're going to continue with the construction here. Again, actually I want to do this one on the bottom. Scoring, adding slip, and scoring again. And doing the same thing on the other slab. And press that in. Being careful to line it up nicely on the outside. And we're going to fix the outside of these walls later when we stand this vase up, so it does not have to be perfect yet. And now finally, this last piece will go on top of that wall and beside this wall. So we want to score this part and this part. And do the slip. Score it again. And then we want to score here and here. that nice and goopy without pulling the wall off of the side there. And now we're going to lay this piece on top. You want to go ahead and get it stuck as much as you can to this side so that it won't fall down, and then press it onto here. And once we've done that, we can attach the base and stand this up.
The slabs can then be aligned and pressed firmly together. When dealing with leather-hard slabs, however, it is not enough to simply score and slip. Each joint must be supported by a soft clay coil. The coil should be placed inside the vessel whenever possible and forced gently into the corners, blended with the slab walls. It's easy to see here why careful measurement is necessary. Hard slab affords infinite possibilities for geometric designs, but usually will require that the design be thought out, with size and angles determined ahead of time.
So now we're ready to make our vase. The first thing we want to do is we want this textured side to be the outside. So we're going to flip this slab right on over. Now we're going to take our form. We want one of these straight sides to line up with the bottom. And you want to just press your clay onto the form, keeping that line lined up with the bottom. And once you get to the end of the slab, give yourself just a little bit of extra clay so that they overlap a tiny bit, and cut off the excess. Now that you've cut off the excess, you want to score the interior edge of that part and the interior edge of that part. This clay is still pretty wet, so we don't need a ton of slip or a whole lot of scoring. That should suffice. Roll it back together. Give it a little bit of pressure. And now we've got the cylinder part of our vase formed.